Marina is born in Windsor and is the youngest of 4 children to immigrant parents. She attended the University of Windsor in 1993 and graduated in 1994 with a Bachelor's of Social Work. She started her career working in child welfare and then moved on to the Children's Aid Society, where she worked for 17 years. In 2017, Marina joined the Our Lady of Guadaloupe home and became the program manager. She is the mother of 2 amazing children, Kyle and Bianca, and both her children and her husband are very proud and supportive of what she does for our community. So I would like to welcome Marina to the podium.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here today. I give you guys credit. You're early morning risers. It was really hard to roll out of bed and get in the shower and be here for 7. I had every intention of having a young mom and a baby here, but when I got to the house to pick them up, they weren't quite ready, and I gave them the liberty to back out because it is hard to get out on most days, let alone early in the morning. So our mom and our baby are not here today, but would love to have been here with you guys today. Although she may have loved and been bouncing around to the hippity hoppity song. So maybe I should have just waited that extra 5 minutes. So how long do I have to speak? 10 minutes? 15? Ooh, it's going to be hard because I could go on all day. I have so many good things to say about this home. So this home was started in 2014. So we've had our 10-year anniversary last year. And it was open with the intention of giving women who found themselves in a situation where they didn't have family support or they didn't have anywhere to live, somewhere that they could come and learn the skills necessary to be a mom. It's funny. I remember when I became a mom, I pulled over the what to expect in the first year and what to expect when you're expecting. And it was like my Bible. I referred to this book all the time. How do you make formula? How do you do this? How do you change a diaper? How do you give a bath? And to be able to sort of make it come to life, this book within this home is how I can best describe it. We are the book to these moms that don't know how to be moms. And they come out learning skills that may not have been met in any other way, or may have been mediocre, to say the least. So these women who come to us they want to keep their baby. They don't have financial support. We get them on the journey to reach financial support. We often get immigrant women as well who come to us as refugees or who have come to us as humanitarian applications. So they come to us in various degrees of need. We've had students from the University of Windsor come to us. In fact, we have one right now. And they are in a situation where I want my career and I want this baby too. I believe in the sanctity of life of this child and I want to support this child. How can I do both? And so they come to us and we set up daycare with them. We get them on that financial support. We allow them to be able to be okay with both choices of being a parent and going to school. And we've had several graduates from the University of Windsor. We've had graduates from St. Clair, from some of the community colleges out there. We've had moms who've been able to get their driver's license and they would never have been able to, maybe without some extra help to watch the baby so they could pursue it. So they come to us, we do an intake interview, we make sure that, and how I always present it to them is, as much as we're interviewing you to see if you're a good fit for the home, you get to interview us to make sure we're a good fit for you. Do our rules, do our belief system, do our expectations meet what you guys want as a parent? And if both of those are agreeable, we bring them in. They can stay with us for 1 year while they get themselves on their feet. They get their own bedroom, and in the room has a crib, a dresser, a bed, and closet space. They don't have to share that space, which is unlike other shelters where it may be several people in the same room. They get their own space, their own privacy, their own opportunity to sort of have still some autonomy and independence. So in that year's time, they do pay room and board. And usually that comes, most of our parents are on Ontario Works or Ontario Disability. And from that, there's a portion of that money anyhow that goes towards rent and accommodation. So we are able to offset some of our costs. by having them pay that room and board, which is the absolute minimum that they need to pay through those programs. And the one thing about our home that differs maybe through other homes is that we are completely and totally 100% charity run. So without the generosity of the community, our doors wouldn't be open. And it's a miracle. We believe in God. We're Catholic. We believe that he has his place in our home and that he has intervened in terms of being able to have our doors remain open. So 100% charity donation. So it's just why we, in part, we ask the girls pay a portion of room and board. And then with that money, it covers the roof over their head. They get to participate in grocery decisions and menu making. It gives them internet, it gives them on-site laundry, it gives them the sort of the use of the entire home. And we like to often come together as a community. So 7 women is the maximum that we accept with their babies. Sometimes we've accepted mothers who've had twins, mothers who might come in with a toddler and a newborn. And every case is case by case. So it all differs according to what the mother's needs are, what our current situation is. Can we accommodate something new and out of the box? Would we rather not because it's already too overwhelming in the home? You'd be surprised how 7 babies in one house can get quite crazy. And I will match every picture that you have in that phone of yours of your granddaughter, because my kids, when they say, Mom, where's that picture of when you took of me? And I'm like, hang on, I got to scroll. I have picture upon picture of babies. So I totally appreciate the joy that a baby brings. And but 7 of them at one time, sometimes you want to invest in a pair of earplugs. Right, more than that. But beyond the whining and the crying and the cranky moments, there's the squeals and the joy and the laughter, and they're not just even from the babies, but from the moms as well, because, oh my gosh, my baby just learned to crawl, or oh my gosh, my baby just learned to walk. And seeing it, you never get old seeing it. You think, another baby's walking, big deal. But no, it really is a big deal to see that baby take their first steps and to see the joy. And I think one of my favorite things is walking in the mornings, and when they're all mobile, either crawling or walking, and they hear you, and they're all scrambling over to the gate, and they see you and their delight because they recognize you now. And it's mom is mom. Mom is always home base. But because we try to focus it so family oriented, because we're only 7 moms and 7 babies, kind of close knit, that they recognize us as their caregivers as well as their own moms as a caregiver. So it's that delight of, hey, she's here, she came back. So it's really nice to see. And one of the other things too, oh my gosh, the list of things that I love about this home, it's the one thing, and the government has its place in everything, right? It's necessary. And how I sometimes say to the girls, rules are in place not to control you, but rules are in place to control the chaos that would ensue if we didn't have some sort of rules. But because the government isn't involved with our organization, we can sort of run a little bit more family-like oriented instead of, is this paperwork completed? Is this report done? Is this addressed? Is that addressed? So we can be a little bit more flexible in our approach with these mothers and not treat them so much as clients, but as women, as almost daughters. And sometimes a kind of hierarchy in some ways. Sister Linda Doobie was one of the founding members of the organization. And I kind of say, look at Sister Linda, you're kind of like great grandma. I'll be grandma. The staff are like the aunts to these moms, and then the moms are like sisters to one another, and then aunts to their children. So everybody is auntie so-and-so or an aunt of this or that, so that they get that sense of family that they don't always have, because we didn't want to make it a sterile environment. We really wanted to make it somewhere that they felt comfortable going. When you and I are done our day and we get to go home and relax and kind of unwind, this is it for them. This is everywhere. They don't have anywhere else to go. So they should be able to feel comfortable and unwind. And so that's kind of what we generate in this home. But on that, what I love about that, because we've created that sort of environment, these women, I always say they never leave. they always come back. So whether they're, you know, their year's up and we've established them in the community, they have their own home, maybe a job, maybe daycare, whatever the situation. But then there's always a knock on the door. Hey, I came to visit. Hey, I came to visit. And it's always the same ones coming back to visit. And the children never have to learn a severance in their attachment. These people never just disappeared. And that's one of the things that's so very important in the life of a child is attachments. They don't understand why they have to leave in a year. This has been their whole world. So when a mom can come back and maintain those connections, these kids see, oh, you didn't disappear. You are still here. And that's a wonderful thing to see, and to see these women flourish and to be able to brag about them. You know, God blessed me with two amazing children, but in some ways I feel like I have a plethora of daughters with these women because they are amazing. They're just amazing. And some of them have really gone on to be very successful. Others continue to struggle, but we don't judge them and we don't deny them our attention and our affection because they still need it when we give them that. And then one of my other favorite things is I've had the experience of birth from the other end. So I, like I said, given birth to two of my own children, but I've been able to be present for the delivery of 12 of those children in our home. And it never gets old. It always amazes me how life is created and is there in front of you. And I've seen some of the ugliest babies come out of that womb and some of the damn cutest babies come out of that womb. But in the end, they are all lovable, and it's an awe-inspiring, it is a humbling moment to see these babies and to see them grow and to see them flourish and become these little people. So now, having been there almost 8 years, and my first little person that I did intake with is now going on to be 8 years old and still involved in her life and still getting to see her and her calling me Nana. It's a beautiful thing to see that we made an impact in that little person's life, and that, you know, God willing, we'll continue to be able to do that with the help of organizations like you, from donors, just individual donors. On May 22nd, we're having our benefit dinner at the Guadalope Club. That is one of our biggest fundraising efforts that we do. And every year it gets bigger and it gets better. And we have, our name gets out. A lot of people still, after 10 years, don't know we exist. And that's okay. We love educating. But that benefit dinner hopefully will yield us the opportunity to keep going. We do a mail out every Christmas. And then we just always, like I said, always make sure our name is out there in people's minds, and don't forget us. Hey, we're still here. And, you know, we often get calls. We have things to donate. Can you use them? Absolutely. Our mothers could definitely use them. I think that, again, if I could list all my favorite things, that was one of the other things I learned about being in this this position. The generosity of Windsor-Essex County is outstanding. I didn't realize how generous a community we had. I was 17 years at the Children's Aid. I worked at my desk. I worked with my little case file. I didn't have much to do with the community in my position. And being here and having to really outreach a lot, I realized and recognized just how generous a community we had. And I remember when I handle all the mail coming in, and when the donations come in by check, and one check came in and it was a $500 check, and I'm calling Sister Linda and I'm like, oh my gosh, we just got like a huge check. And she's, well, what is it? What is it? It's $500. And not that she was minimizing the $500, because we appreciated the $500. She goes, oh, I thought it was going to be like $5,000, right? But for me, I seeing that, thinking, would I ever give 5,000? Would I do something like that? So to me, it was like, oh my gosh, this person had $500 to give us. And it was just outstanding. That was my first time recognizing that no, people are way more generous even than that. So it's very much appreciated. And I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to work with any of the Rotary clubs here in Windsor-Essex. So I appreciate Cassandra and Monique for reaching out, and Terry, thank you for the introduction, all of you. And I'm glad to have this partnership, and hoping to reach out to you guys maybe in the future as well to see other ways we can partner and you know, keep our home and our doors open. Love to do that. My goodness, I don't even know what else to say. I could go on forever. Yeah.
I don't know if I missed it at the very beginning, but did you say when you were founded and where you're located? And
So
things
yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Sure.
we were founded in 2014. We're located in the Remington Park area on Alexandrian Street. So kind of, I was just saying to Terry, if you know where Walker's Chocolate is and you take that road down, if it was a throughway, we would be at the end of that block. And it's this big brown house. Again, talking about the generosity of the community, there was an individual who heard Sister Linda speak about the event or about the home and her wanting to open this home. And he said, "Oh, I want to help." And she says, "Oh, thank you. Like, what kind of donations do you want to make?" He goes, "No, you don't understand. I want to give you the money to build the house." So this individual came forward and actually
Brand new house?
brand new, 10 years old. Yes. So he funded the building of the home. So it's very, very generous. We've had people, philanthropists in the community who've given us $100,000 a year for 5 years. So, you know, those are the kinds of things that when I say like, wow, the generosity, would I give $25? And these people humble me with what they're willing to donate. So yeah, 7 rooms. And like I said, everybody gets their own room. We are 24 hours staffed. So that's why our budget is so, our operational costs are higher because not many charities in the community will run 24 hours without government funding. And we do because we know it's important for the mothers to know that there's somebody there if they need that help. So especially in the middle of the night, you're tired, you're exhausted. What am I going to do? This baby doesn't sleep. We encourage the moms, look, at if you're struggling, there's a person on staff. And they don't abuse it, which is fantastic. But there are nights where I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And we encourage them, hand this baby over to staff. This way, baby is safe. You're safe. Go get some sleep. If we need you, we'll come get you. But know that today I have this baby for you. So we do that for them. And I often say, I wish I had this when I had my kids. Man, it would have been so nice to have somebody to bounce these ideas off of. And we didn't, right? We figured it out on our own as moms, as dads. We just figured it out on our own. And so many of the women who come to the home recognize what it is that that's opportunity that they've been given and will really embrace it. And we tell them, we say right from the get-go, we are not just a bed. If it's a bed you're looking for, we can refer you to to a shelter. It's hard to describe what we are when people ask, are we a shelter? Are we a boarding house? Are we a group home? And it really is hard to describe what we are because we're a little bit of all of that. But in the end, I'd like to say and like to think that we're kind of like a family. We're a family that's kind of forced together and brought together and with free will to decide, do I want to be a part of this or don't I want to be a part of this? And when they want to be a part of this, they don't want to leave. And, you know, when they don't want to be a part of it, they make it known. They'll go back to substance abuse. They'll go back to making poor relationship choices. And we're like, that's okay. You're not ready. But please make a plan for your child. That's going to be a good plan for your child. Don't let them go through this pain that you've experienced in your life. So 10 years running. We hope to run another 10 years. Got amazing staff who are absolutely committed. And sometimes I say my best staff are the ones who've been mothers themselves. They just bring that warmth and that nurturing. And that's what these women need. We're not a treatment facility. We cannot manage the addiction issue. So they have to come in having completed addiction counseling. If it's a refugee issue, they have to be connected with a lawyer. We can help with those sorts of things. I'm not versed in immigration laws. I can only do my best, minimum that I've learned through this job. We don't provide counseling, although we'll provide in the moment, like I'm having a hard day today, what's going on? What can we do? How can we fix this? And if we need to, we refer out to the community because there are so many wonderful supports out there that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to use the resources that are already in the community. But yeah, like yesterday, we had one of our moms who left us 2 years ago, and she was back there with her children, and she's doing fantastic. She's got a full-time job. She's on maternity leave right now, but she drives. She didn't drive. She came from a huge criminal history. She's maybe a 15-year criminal and drug history. And she came to us, and we're always kind of a little bit hesitant when we take those on, like, all right, we'll see what their commitment is. And my goodness, this woman has committed. She has committed to her children, and she has not looked back. There's been no crime. There's been no drug use. She is focused on her children. She recognizes what she went through and is not putting her children through it. And it's incredible. We have another one who just got house arrest. Again, same thing. I know what I did. And she made no excuses for her actions. I know what I did. I know what I can't do. I'm not doing this to my child. I'm done. And she's committed. And we believe in them. And we believe in them. And I think because we believe in them, there's that sense in them that I'm not doing this walk alone. There's somebody there next to me. And I can do this because somebody's walking with me. I can only imagine what it would be like to be on my own with all these things over top of me, trying to navigate parenthood, trying to navigate a criminal system, trying to navigate this, that, and the other thing. And to have, I would think, having somebody to say, listen, we got this. We know what we're going to do. And it puts them sort of at ease. You can almost see the relief coming over them to say that they don't have to do this alone. And it's one of the most rewarding things. So everything really about this, the home, the job is rewarding. The expenses are phenomenal in every respect. For the home, the expenses for the moms. Cassandra and Monique connected with us, letting us know what it was that you guys wanted to do with the basket. And having spoken to Cassandra, I think we'd like to use baskets as a welcome to Our Lady of Guadalupe. So each new mom will come in and they'll receive one of these new baskets that you guys have put together. Some of those little things are, you wouldn't believe, they don't come in with a brush for the baby. They don't come in with a nail clipper for the baby. When they leave, it's nice for them to have a thermometer. I think she said the thermometer was going to be in the basket. They're all those little things that you take for granted that, oh crap, the home had them. Now I have to get my own. Or I should get my own while I'm in the home. So now that they're going to be able to have them while being in the home and then to take that with them when they leave is one less thing for them to worry about. So thank you very much for putting that together and for considering us as part of your donations. Any questions? Yeah.
Well, that comment is twofold, is that, it takes a village, right?
It does.
And so you guys are actually providing a mini village.
Exactly.
Of helping hands and community, and the kids have each other that they can.
You got it.
The other thing is, in terms of parenting, even if sometimes life is harder, but for that child to have at least one adult that is supportive and believes in them, like you said, makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you guys are providing that.
There are
a number of your staff.
exactly, and there's enough studies out there that show that if children grow up in fight or flight constantly, in that fight or flight mode, it changes their brain makeup, their brain waves, and so then they grow up living a life with trauma and poor choices, and the cycle repeats itself. So at least we hope for that the year they're with us, even if mom leaves and goes back to that, because we've had those cases too, where moms come to us and they leave and they go back to their old ways. We hope, we pray that that 1 year that they were with us made some impact for them to know that that's not how it has to be.
I'm just wondering, first of all, how much, you're doing great work, I'm sure. How much bigger is the need?
Well,
could
see,
you put 10 such homes up there in the city, or?
we could. You know how we would need the help? Ours is a nice building block. It's the first block to build. What I always say is I would love to have transitional homes where we can, fourplexes or duplexes and all kind of within the same area that we can put. This is my dream. This is my goal. Like if I could dream big and somebody said, here's all the money in the world, what would you do with it? Find an area, make these fourplexes, and our mothers would graduate to these homes and then talk about the village. Now you've created even a bigger village for themselves.
I'd like to talk about that a little later. The last thing I'm wondering is, it seems, I don't know, it really seems, to kick them out after a year,
I know.
seems to, is that necessary?
It is, because then there's other women who need the service. So when I don't want to say kick out, because I think that's breaks my heart every time they have to leave. But what we do is we set them up. We don't ask, well, your year is up. Sometimes they stay a year and 2 months, or sometimes they stay 9 months, whatever they do, whatever they choose. Then we make sure that when they do leave us, did you get a good home? Can you afford it? Do you have enough furniture? What do you need? And we make sure they're set up. So then they've sort of transferred that same quality of care to the next space. And then, like I said, we never disappear. They know they can come back. They call me with Marina, can you help me with this? Marina, can you help me with that? Oh, this just came up. I don't know what this means. So they know that they're never really alone. Yeah.
Good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have, so thank you for coming out this morning, joining us. And as a thank you, a basket.
A
A basket. So hopefully
Wow.
we'll see more of
Was
those.
this on, did the Easter Bunny do this?
That's the basket that we're gonna.
Yeah. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
you guys. Honestly, this is very appreciated.